What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me on another episode on this channel. In today's episode, Pierce Bronsan, the former Bond, James Bond. He played James Bond in 4 movies, and he played James Bond in GoldenEye, which is my favorite Bond movie that came out in 1995. Pierce Bronsan was a great James Bond. But now we have a problem. Pierce Bronsan is an SJW now. He is a part of woke Hollywood. Pierce Bronsan made a statement recently, and it had to do with the male James Bond. Pierce Bronsan thinks it's time for a woman to take over as James Bond. Not just 007, but James Bond. So this is what he had to say. I think we've watched the guys do it for the last 40 years. Get out the way, guys. Put a woman up there. I think it would be exhilarating. It would be exciting. No, it wouldn't be exciting. It would be a disaster. The James Bond franchise has made billions of dollars at the box office, Pierce Bronsan, and you were a part of that. People, I don't think, would show up for a female James Bond. For one thing, James Bond is not a woman. You can't sell the general audience on James Bond being a woman. It just won't work. Now, I know that this new James Bond movie has Lashana Lynch as 007, and you've already heard the outrage from that. But to fully recast James Bond as a woman would be a disaster. If you thought Ghostbusters 2016 was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. James Bond is an iconic character. Nowhere in the world the general audience would buy into a woman being James Bond. And it has nothing to do with sexism. It has all to do with the character was never meant to be a woman. Now, how would SJWs feel if men decided to say, you know what? We've had a female Wonder Woman for far too long. It's time to have a man as Wonder Woman. What would happen? There would be outrage from SJWs. They would be saying that it would be nothing but toxic masculinity. That's what they would say. They would call sexism. They would call all the isms. They would call racism. Just because a man wanted to be Wonder Woman. Now, personally, I think that's pretty stupid. Wonder Woman is a woman. Like Superman is a man. James Bond is a man. Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, that's a woman. A man should never play that role. So why is it woke Hollywood wants to do nothing but gender and race swapping everywhere? And you know what? I do have a strong feeling that in the future, James Bond will probably be a woman. And Hollywood is going to have to answer that question. Do we want to please SJWs and lose money? Now, if I'm an executive at a major studio, nowhere in the world am I going to jeopardize profits for this. This is nothing but political woke talk to please SJWs. But remember, SJWs do not support your products. They don't. SJWs are in the business of complaining about everything. Because let's just say, for example, that there is a female James Bond. And you get a female James Bond. She's white. The movie comes out. You know what SJWs are going to do? They're going to complain that, oh, why do they have to have a white female James Bond? Why can't we have a black female James Bond? And then it's going to go on from there. Why can't we have a Chinese James Bond, an Indian James Bond, a Jewish James Bond? It's just going to keep going over and over and over again. This is what happens when you try to please SJWs. SJWs do not support your product. All they want is to just complain about everything. Now, Pierce Bronsan, you were a great James Bond, but I honestly don't believe that he's honest about what he's saying. because this is just ludicrous. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. What would be the name of the character? These 007 movies are Ian Fleming's James Bond 007. So if you take that away, the only thing you can have is, I guess, 007, but you can't sell the movie on James Bond. What is her name going to be? Judy Bond? That's not going to do much of anything. So when Pierce Bronsan says something like this, I don't think he's speaking for the masses. I just think he's just giving and telling things that SJWs just want to hear. And in Hollywood, if you're not with them and their opinion, you're blackballed out of Hollywood. So what else was he gonna say? If he said, no, Ian Fleming made James Bond as a man, we have to stick with that, SJWs would have went crazy on him. They would have called him racist and sexist, because that's just what they do. Racist and sexist, that has no meaning whatsoever anymore. But James Bond is a man. I'm here to tell you that. Now, will Hollywood actually always make him a man? That's another story right there. Because with Hollywood, I'm not surprised with the way Hollywood has been going the last couple of years. Look at the MCU. The MCU is actually tokenizing new characters. They're coming out with Ironheart, which is a tokenized version of Iron Man. But it's going to have representation because it's a little black girl that wants to be Iron Man. You see? Hollywood doesn't honestly believe that women can stand on their own. Hollywood still believes that women need male characters to push out the profits. You know what I mean? They don't believe that a woman action hero can stand on their own. That's why they're doing stuff like this. That's why there's talk about things like this. But what do you guys think of this? Pierce Bronsan, is he going crazy? He may not be crazy, but he's definitely wrong on this. But guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.